yesterday of the Academy Awards, and the person interviewing me said, "What's better, a big theater like that or an intimate setting like, the Comedy Connection?" And I said, well, the Comedy Connection is definitely something about an intimate setting. I said, especially when you're working in a room that, they say seats 350 but really holds 500. And the guy said, oh, my God. And I said, yeah, well, he's notorious for lying on the contract.
Yeah, no shit. Well, I appreciate getting some of your time, and I'm going to run this thing on the day before Thanksgiving, and we're plugging your shows for December 11th and 12th. And then at the end, if we could just cut a couple IDs, that would be great.
Sure, I would love to.
You're the man, Robert. Really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. You know what? I've been to Maui. Unfortunately, I'm doing the Kodak Theater, because my wife has never been to Hawaii, and I've been to Honolulu for one day, and I was in Maui for a week, then went to Honolulu, and Honolulu was like, being at the 3rd Street Promenade in L.A. It was totally not anything like what I thought Hawaii would be.
It's kind of like, I always think of it like Times Square and Jamaica.
Yeah. I mean, when you come out of the hotel and there's a Banana Republic and a Jamba Juice there, it's like, what? So, but in Maui, there was like nothing to do. I mean, at night, after dinner, forget it. But that was kind of cool, though.
No,
so now I'm going to Maui first, then coming to you guys,
okay.
And then coming to L.A. the day after.
Oh, I didn't have a plug here for Maui. Are you just
No, I'm just going to go visit because she's never seen it, and I figure if we're going to already be there, it's crazy not to go. And the guy that produced my comedy CDs lives in Honolulu. Bill McCune moved to Hawaii.
Nice.
So I haven't seen him since then, so that's going to be kind of neat too.
Let me throw an intro on this thing, Robert. It's 105.9 The Big Kahuna, Honolulu's only classic rock. Dave Lawrence on board, and a very special guest joining me now on the Workforce Blocks at noon, December 11th and 12th at Pipeline Cafe here in town. We are getting a visit from one of the funniest, most talented, down-to-earth guys in comedy. You can get tickets now at Pipeline or at Hawaii's Natural High. Call them 926-3000 for more information to see the star of the HBO special Unprotected and of that album, plus the hilarious Comes Clean, and if you buy the CD, I can get the Scar records as well. Joining me on 105.9 The Big Kahuna is Robert Schimmel. Hey, Robert, welcome to the airwaves, brother.
How you doing, man?
Grateful to get to work with you again after many, many years and many miles, and you've been through a whole lot in the meantime.
Yeah.
Probably have the most unique acting comedy now because your subject matter is something that so many other people think is so serious, and it is serious, but it's cancer.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma 3 years ago, June 5th, 2000, and actually on December 12th is a really big night for me there, and I can't think of a better place to be celebrating it than in Hawaii, one of the most beautiful places on earth, because December 12th will be 3 years in remission for me.
Wow.
So I will be celebrating that on stage in Hawaii. That is a really big thing.
And that's huge. When I remember something, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, did you have like a heart attack or something?
I had a heart attack.
In the late 90s, right, I remember that.
So my HBO special.
Yeah, because I was telling the promoter here, because I got to work with Robert a bunch of times, and I remember that you were coming through, and I was thinking, wow, and you had some really funny material about that, and I was thinking, Robert's really been through the mill, that and then cancer, but you're in remission 3 years as of December 12th.
As of December 12th, that's right.
That is huge, brother.
Yeah, no, it really is.
Congrats.
How can you find humor in it? I have to tell you that when I was diagnosed at the Mayo Clinic, I was with my mother and father and my wife, and the doctor said I had to start chemotherapy, and I was going to be on chemo for about 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was open-minded, that I might consider smoking marijuana because it would help with my nausea and my appetite. And my parents are sitting there devastated, and I'm thinking, this is a dream come true. I got a doctor telling my parents that I should be smoking pot. I mean, where was this guy 20 years ago?
And what was that a treatment that you began to take on?
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I hadn't indulged in that for a long, long time, and either marijuana is a lot different now than it was when I was in college, or I turned into a big sissy because I got way too stoned. I went to eat something, and I thought I could see the subatomic structure of the sandwich. And I had a major anxiety attack, and my mother came to visit me. She said, what's the matter? And I said, I'm stoned, and I'm having a bad time. And she said, well, of course you're having a bad time. You're probably having an anxiety attack because you have cancer, and people die from that. And wow, good, keep talking like that. So then she wanted to give me a Xanax, and she said, here, this will bring you down. And I'm thinking, great, Xanax, pot. I'm going to finish chemo and go right into detox. Then I got the munchies, and I ate 2.5 boxes of ice cream sandwiches. And when I went for my next checkup, my doctor told me that I gained 3 pounds. And he said, whatever you're doing, don't stop doing it.
He didn't cut you back, huh?
No.
What's your day-to-day life like now? Are you still puffing or no?
Sometimes. They told me that that's the only thing I can do to relieve stress. And to keep, in L.A., you can get a license for it.
Right, and you have to carry it around on you and stuff, right? It's like a vehicle license.
You can carry it with you, and but it can only be for personal use. And I know a bunch of people that are actually, in the same position I'm in, that the doctors give Marinol pills to, but they don't really stay lit.
Now, not only did you beat it with beating the cancer, but you're also told that, like, your treatments, that the chemo might make you unable to have children.
Right. They told me that I would be sterile, and I would never be able to have children again. And 5 months ago, on June 5th, exactly 3 years from the day I was diagnosed and they told me, we had a son.
Little Sam.
Yep, little Sam.
Congrats, brother.
Thanks, man.
That is very huge, man. It's an impressive story, and it's. I mean, I know you have great bits about it all, but when you stop and you think about some of this, it's overpowering, man. What you've been through.
It's a major thing. It really is for me, and I'm a lucky guy. And I am actually Howard Stern puts me on his show a lot out here in the States, and
we're still in the States.
No, I mean out in the. I didn't mean that you're not part of the States. I meant.
I know what you meant.
On the real Big Island. And so the WB heard me on a show. My daughter went on with me, my 25-year-old daughter, and if you want to see her, she has her own website actually now. It's jessicaschimmel.com, and she wore a T-shirt that said, "My dad married my best friend, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt." and Stern went nuts for it, and that's all he talked about for an hour and a half on the show. And then the WB offered us a sitcom based on me being in remission, living with my daughter and my new wife that's a couple of years older than her, who's her friend, and we're going to shoot the pilot in February or March.
And your new wife is like 29 or something?
She's 29, yeah.
Man, Robert, working it, brother.
I know. Well, I wanted to be the Lance Armstrong of the midlife crisis set.
A stud dog, and I'm impressed by it.
Thanks.
Yeah, and you used to be, you're living in L.A. now, huh? You used to be in Arizona or something.
Yeah, I live in Arizona. I'm living in L.A. now, right on the border of Santa Monica and Malibu, where it's really beautiful, and I'm about a block from the water, and you get to watch the syringes and needles wash in every afternoon, and you can't go in the water where I live. They say you can get hepatitis out there. People, I don't know how they wind up with needles in the water, but they do.
Is like needle signs and stuff on the beach?
Yeah.
Like instead of, we have shark warnings out here. You guys have needle warnings on your beach.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was, when I was in Maui, we went out to that, half crater thing, let's say, where you can go snorkeling and scuba diving, and went out on a boat, and I wanted to have pictures taken with me with like a lot of fish with me underwater, and they don't just come over to you, but they do if you pull a Slim Jim out of your bathing suit pocket. Fish go nuts for Slim Jims, and it's amazing because you would think that fish don't eat beef. They almost bit my fingers off. I mean, I have pictures where you can't even see me, and I'm actually in there.
Just surrounded by all the fish.
Yeah. Then there were some giant turtles swimming by us, and some guys came by in a boat and said there was like a heavy-duty fine if you touched them, and, so I guess...
yeah, you can't mess with the turtles. They're super endangered. Honu, they're called.
So I guess giving them beer would, I would have really gotten in trouble for something like that.
Man, that would count for messing with them. What other stuff are you going to do in your free time when you're here in Hawaii?
I don't know. I really want to see Honolulu because I haven't. The only thing I did was go to Pearl Harbor because everybody said, "Oh, you got to go to Pearl Harbor and you got to go see it," and it was really something to see, and I couldn't believe how boring Ben Affleck could make Pearl Harbor sound. Because I saw the movie and I was thinking, man, this is really, I'm ready to bomb the guy. I was on a boat, and it's amazing to me only because I wasn't expecting it, but I went on on that tour where you go out there.
Right.
And I was with like 2 other people, and we were the only Caucasians on the boat. Everybody else was Asian.
Yeah, it's a more cosmopolitan mix out here.
And they're all out there with cameras taking pictures, and it's like, wow. I mean, the opposite is I don't think you would really see like a lot of Americans on tour of like Hiroshima taking pictures of you. Just would.
Not an image you expect, no.
No.
You're an animal.
But I want to see. it. I mean, I haven't seen any of Honolulu, so I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully, I'm going to get to do you live when I'm there, right?
Yeah, no, I want to have you come in and do the show, man, for sure, brother.
Yeah, no, I want to. Because when they said you got a phoner, I'm going, oh, don't tell me that I don't get to do radio live there.
We definitely want to have you in, man.
Okay, well, you know what? Maybe Thursday before the show, we can grab dinner or something.
That would be very cool.
And that way you could take me to some place that's some local thing that I would never find if I went there without knowing somebody that lived there.
That's always the way to do it when you go to a town. Hook up with someone who's already been there. Be my treat for you, brother.
Yeah, no, I love it. And Mark Parento, I haven't seen him in a while. I know he was at XM Radio for a while.
He was. He's got his own trip that he's up to down there in D.C. these days. But
yeah.
But I always remember those days when Big Bill would bring you by, and I mean,
yeah,
many
he was great. Are you kidding? Do you remember the show at the Orpheum Theater?
Yeah, absolutely.
That
man.
was unreal. I mean, Mark put me on that show. He was emceeing, and he said, yeah, you're going to be the only comic. I want these people to see you. And I said, who's on? I don't know if you remember.
Oh, the Bare Naked Ladies one? Is
Bare Naked Ladies, the Wallflowers, and Soul Coughing.
Right, yeah.
And he said, and you. And I said, wait a minute. I said, these people aren't here to see me. He said, Robert, they're going to love you. And I remember that Soul Coughing went on first.
Right, yeah, I do remember that.
And people were standing on the chairs, dancing, and those guys they aren't even together anymore. They were I loved them. They were great.
Yeah. M. Doty, their singer, was a great dude.
Yeah, and then they brought me out, and I did a set after, and then the Wallflowers weren't ready yet. So Oedipus asked me if I could go out there, and Oedipus, for those of you that are listening that don't know, is actually not the guy that wanted to be with his mom. He's the program director of the station. He asked me if I can go back out and stretch. And I went back out and killed out there.
Dude, you
and
were
then I went
out of
on in
control.
between the Wallflowers and Bare Naked Ladies.
It was an all-night thing.
Yeah, and it was for charities, from some children's, some like pediatric cancer or something like that, and it was a major show.
Yeah,
and,
it was the Rock of Boston show. And
yeah, that was a great show.
Yeah, and I'm proud to say that I did work with someone who, you can correct me if I'm wrong, was Mark Parento not instrumental in your success?
Absolutely. Mark Parento put me on every time I came out here. I remember when he got a job, I think he had a gig in New York for a while.
Yes, he did. He did.
But then he came up here on the weekends, and he had like a afternoon Saturday talk show or something.
Yeah.
And he even put me on there, like gave me the whole show for like an afternoon. I said, they're sold out already. He said, yeah, but people should just hear how you feel about things. And then when I went to D.C. to perform, I went to XM Radio, and he gave me a tour of the facility, and it was unreal. And he put me on there and interviewed me for about 2 hours at XM. XM is phenomenal because the comedy channels, you can hear everybody, and they don't pay any royalties because I guess the FCC doesn't govern satellite. No, it's true. I know guys in bands that said, I got fans telling me we hear you on XM all the time. They don't see anything for it.
No, I know. Not yet, at least. They'll come to it eventually.
Yeah. So I was watching the news this morning here, and this Michael Jackson thing, jeez.
Out of control.
It really is. Something's weird there, I'm telling you, because... Well, I'll tell you what. There's a lot of weird stuff in the news. First of all, I saw Siegfried from Siegfried and Roy on yesterday on Larry King, I think, and he said that they think that somebody in the audience had like a weird haircut. Did you hear that?
Yeah, and that's what made the tiger.
And that's what made the tiger go nuts. And see, I have a different theory.
What's that?
The tiger is a wild animal.
Right.
And they usually live in the jungle where God created them.
Correct.
Not on stage at the Mirage in Las Vegas. And these animals usually have to track and hunt their prey and kill them and drag them off and eat them. Roy sticks his head right in the tiger's mouth. I mean, and I knew that if anybody was going to get hurt out of the two of them, it would definitely be Roy. Because Siegfried doesn't do a freaking thing. I've seen them in Las Vegas. And Siegfried only commentates. It's like, and now Roy's going to paint his genitals like a porterhouse steak and wave it in front of the tiger while I commentate from the Goodyear blimp. He's nowhere near the tigers.
He's a prop.
Yeah, but they said that Roy's going to be okay, which is cool. But I heard the tiger's HIV positive, so that could be kind of bizarre. But
that is rough.
Yeah.
I wonder how Michael Jackson figures in with those guys.
Michael Jackson? Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he's buddies with them. You know what? I was just telling somebody right before I talked to you that everybody's coming out of the woodwork to say we can't believe this about Michael Jackson, right? Everybody but Janet Jackson, LaToya Jackson, Jermaine's out there going, no, because Jermaine, where's he working, at Burger King?
Exactly. He's flipping them.
Janet's not saying anything. You haven't seen her on the news yet because she doesn't want to get connected to it.
It just seems like there could be a connection with Siegfried and Roy, just because Jackson has that Vegas thing. He keeps
Jackson has the Vegas thing. Jackson has a thing for animals. They have a thing for animals.
I'm just drawing obvious connections and parallels.
Yeah, they're all three of them are guys. None of them are married.
Tigers are single as well. Yeah, that's probably true too.
Tigers have stripes, and that's what Michael Jackson's going to be wearing in a couple of months.
Robert Schimmel, you're a very funny man. I look forward to it, man. December 11th and 12th, Pipeline Cafe in Honolulu. It's on sale now. Grab them at Pipeline Cafe.
I am going to call you as soon as I get over there.
Dude, you better,
we
man.
hook up.
We will. We'll take you out and we'll wine you and dine you on the Big Kahuna, brother.
Okay, man.
I appreciate you being on the show with me, man.
Okay, me too.
We look forward to seeing you and welcoming you to Honolulu.
Thanks, and I'm very excited to be performing there. I really, really am.
It will kill. And give Bill Blumenreich at the Comedy Connection my best. Tell Mark.
I will. I definitely will. I'm going to see him. I'm going to see him in a couple of hours.
Yeah, tell him Dave Lawrence says hi.
Okay.
Aloha, Robert.
Okay, aloha.
Hey, this is Robert Schimmel, and you're listening to the man, Dave Lawrence.